This is where this has to stop whenever pets are getting injured.
Welcome back to the Here's Your Crack podcast.
Episode 31.
Nice.
We are here in the flesh and blood in the studio up in Belfast.
Yeah.
Riot City, bitch.
Riot City. We'll move on to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We have to talk about that one.
But we're going to start off with another question.
I feel like we should do an intro.
I need to get a cash intro.
Do an intro for YouTube. Can you spruce this up, edit man?
No way, Jose.
I'll provide you the jingle.
If you like sing a wee song.
It's Tommy's question time. No? Okay.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
It's Tommy's question time. Moving on.
Let's pretend that didn't happen. So basically, my question this week is
oh my god.
Right. So say you turn 24, right? Or you're in your 20s, the prime of your life, and you're given the option, you stop aging from either the neck below or the neck above, so you'll never age, but like one half of your body will be aging. So like you can either like stop aging from the face up, right, or you can stop aging from the face down, right. So like you can either have like a really young face on your body, it keeps aging, or you can have like a really young body but your face keeps aging.
So the question you're really putting to us here is, which would you rather?
Yeah.
A saggy face or a saggy ball sack?
Well, you have a saggy ball sack anyway.
I'm gonna say I would far rather my face, and keep my bod.
So
really,
you'd your face rather your face age?
Yeah.
See, the way I see it is, you're gonna be wearing clothes out in public.
No. But
so people aren't gonna see anything under that. They're gonna see your face.
You also have to think about it in another way, where if you are aging, like in your face, like that's normal. Like that's gonna happen. Like I can accept that. But what I'm kind of a bit scared of is like when I'm older, like having all the aches and pains, like getting up out of bed and all. Like I wouldn't mind an older face and people being like, oh, he's an old geezer, but oh, that old geezer can still go out running and cycling and playing five-a-side football.
Rather your body doesn't age?
Yeah.
I suppose you've already got the grey hair. Like,
I know, I've already got grey hair, man. Like I've come to terms with this in the past couple of years. I'm just like, yeah. I was actually thinking about this today when I was out a walk with the dogs. Someone had said to me in work the other day, I was like, oh, you silver fox, and I was just like, haha. And then I walked away and I was kind of like, that's a bit weird that you're 21 and you're a full head of grey hair, but it doesn't really bother me. So what would you rather?
I don't know. You've swayed me a wee bit.
See,
I was going for the age in the body.
You draw an aging body. Why?
But then it's going to last you longer. No, I've been swayed now. Like I was thinking, like, sure, you're going to be wearing clothes and shit. Like people aren't going to see.
So I don't think it's necessarily about looks. It's about performance.
But he's saying he doesn't want his body to age, and you're saying about clothes as if you don't mind your body aging.
Yeah, but you can always keep your body in shape, but it's gonna get wrinkly down below.
But people won't see it.
People won't see that. Like you can always keep it in shape anyway. Like, but
I just think like when you get older, like not to say that you don't care anymore, but like when you get older, like you always hear old people being like, I wish I was back in the day and could be able to do that, like go jumping on a trampoline, or like, you know what I mean, at least then, like, you know, even wee things like when you're 7, like one of the boys turn 80 and go karting.
I think
skydiving.
I'd go face aging, body young, because you can keep your body in shape, and then you can always get a wee bit of Botox and all.
Simon Cowell style.
Realistically, the ages we are in, we have a wee bit of Botox, you know, a bit of hair dye. Who's gonna know?
Pass it off.
They're gonna know.
Whereas like your body, like you're saying, is gonna age, and it's gonna get to the stage where you can barely walk. You'll be like a big hunchback and all, and you'll have this young face.
But it's gonna be pretty fucking weird if you've got this like sexy bod and like you've got a wee old man head. Like.
Look at Wayne Lineker.
Who's that?
You know Gary Lineker's brother. Do you not know? Oh my god.
Get him off.
So funny. Jack Granda. What?
Like.
But like then I suppose like
if you had a young person's head on that body, like
surely
you're young forever. Like.
If you just keep in shape, like I suppose you could like not have an aging face or have an aging body, but just keep in shape. Like.
Do you live forever, or do you?
But then like
you don't live forever.
Die at some point.
I don't know. Live forever. It's like the question is like your body stops aging either above your neck or below your neck?
Definitely below. Easy.
Stop aging below.
I'm happy enough for my face to age and my body to stay the same.
What are you going for?
I think face.
But what
No, sorry. Forever young face.
So your body aging?
Yeah.
You're saying
Keep the body in shape. And you're young looking, so you don't have to preserve that.
Oh my god. I just don't see the point in that. It's like when you're older, people are like,
I think I'd go body not aging and just get some treatments to the
Yeah,
face.
because as I say, it's practicality.
But realistically, like, do you think, like, when someone's had stuff done to them?
You know when someone's look at Simon Cowell, he looks like a flipping,
Yeah.
looks like a cheese board. Like,
No, but if you get it done right, like look at the Kardashians and all those ones, they've got shit done.
But in fucking 10 years, it'll just look like saggy
Sure,
bin
look
bags.
at Kris Jenner. She's
The amount of
fucking.
money
She
you
looks
need
like
to
she's
keep it up,
40.
like.
She's like 60 now.
Jesus. No, I don't know about that.
He's joking.
But the amount of money you need to keep
If you
that
didn't
sort
know
of
what age she was,
standard
and you looked
up,
at her, I know, but like we're all gonna be rich anyway.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
right,
definitely.
Forgot about that.
Me and Thomas went out to walk there earlier on and seen
Yeah.
two cars, a Ferrari
Was
and a
it,
McLaren.
And
What
that
do you
is
call it?
Brno.
Nico?
I know.
No.
Your boy Nico from over here is in Spain at the minute.
Do you know?
Oh, he's a
I don't know.
gumball race,
He's
isn't he?
literally
Oh,
like
is he?
Yeah, I think
He's
so.
sick.
he's just driving round in his Ferrari.
I'm surprised
round-
that's still on.
What is it?
It's that gumball thing where you like drive across, like, is it Spain and Italy and all, and
Yeah.
France?
Right.
You get like a sports car, but he obviously already has one. So
I suppose they're all sitting in the car, so they're not
I suppose that is true.
doing anything wrong.
So yeah, it's 2 for 1. Age and face,
Yeah.
prime body.
Whenever me and Thomas are out running 5Ks at 80 and looking a wee bit old, worse for wear, you're going to be like looking really fresh, and people are going to be like, oh, look at Shay, he's so fresh and young, but yet you're not able to get out of the car. Like.
What happened?
I'm
that
gonna
day?
look good in the inside. Gonna look good.
Me
on
and
the
Thomas
outside.
are me and
You're
Thomas are
feel good
gonna
on the inside.
me and Thomas are gonna scoot up to your house in a lowered Ferrari and all when we're rich and famous and be like, Shay, you getting in? And you'd be like, that's too low for me.
Do you know what the problem is with that?
What?
People are going to be looking into your Ferraris and seeing these two ugly
people-
cars.
Yeah,
some
but
people-
there's a difference.
You
I
can't
have
see
a
the rest of your
Ferrari
body.
and I could probably with the body of an
Why
age
do
of
you get a
24.
Ferrari? Because you chose
Because I'm able to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can keep your body.
He's gonna
You can
become
keep
an
nurturing that. You can keep nurturing that. I could do like
Do
we
that
literally train for like Olympic Games and never lose your physique. Like people retiring, like, oh, I have to retire when I'm 30 because my body's aging. I could be like, no, 70 years old can still do this. Running Ironmans and all.
Realistically,
People
all you're
say
going to be doing is
you'd be-
cycle around Ballymena, like.
Yeah. Well, here.
People also say that you get better looking with age sometimes.
Mm.
So if you can get
George Clooney.
you'll just get the right age and you'll be like, right, Botox time.
Ah, but what if you wait too
Need to
long? Like?
maintain this. Yeah, who knows?
But then obviously on to I feel like it's a good segue. 'Cause speaking of old and young people, if you've been living under a rock,
That's just your line into every topic now. If you've been living under a
I
rock,
feel like this is a good segue.
to be frankly honest,
Aye.
Ross's stories from under the rock.
that could be a new segment. If you've been living under a rock,
If you've
with
been living
Ross.
under a rock with Ross, Ross rocks
Ross's
with
rocks.
rock with Ross,
Above the rock.
under the rock with Ross.
Ross's rock,
Ross,
Right, shut up about rocks.
Ross
Yeah.
the rock,
riots. I feel like that's such a
Ross.
throwing rocks,
Ross rocks rats.
using rocks for good. Not bad.
Podcast title.
Yeah, if you've been living under a rock, you'll see that Northern Ireland's going through a bit of a weird, funky time again, where we're back to this nonsense of violence and just I don't even know how to describe it. Like
what is happening?
like so many people.
Honestly.
I watched a news thing on YouTube the other day. It's like TNT or I don't know what the fuck it was. But they were like, they're English like news reporter guys who do it on YouTube, but they were sort of trying to explain what's going on. And they were saying it's like nobody really knows, which is true. Like, I don't know. Do you know why they're doing it?
So, well, it's definitely because of this Irish Sea border.
Yeah.
And then as well as that, it's
just
like, but then, in my opinion, when you actually get into the nitty gritty of it, I feel like some of it is to do with that, and then obviously you've just got the other majority of people who, to be frankly honest with you, are like, here's an excuse for me to go act like a twat.
It's also to do with this funeral, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And the police not doing, like, that's what everyone's saying is like,
there's 3 sides to it. Like.
yeah, there was always this whole thing that like the loyalists and the police had like a sort of like you would never seen a loyalist going against the police. Like, I could be wrong.
It's from RUC times
But,
back in the day when there was
that's why it's such a big thing now, because it's like because of the Sinn Féin and like them going to the funeral, Michelle going to the funeral, which was wrong, like, she was wrong, like, and there's no defending her, like, but at the same time it's like rioting and shit because you want the police to do something.
I'd seen a lot of people sort of saying about the difference in the police approach to rioting in loyalist areas and then rioting in nationalist areas, where like they brought the water cannon and stuff out. And to be frankly honest with you, I think whichever side of the fence you label yourself on, if you're going out and throwing like petrol bombs and throwing bricks at people in general, like, you're obviously going to need to get stopped. Like, do you know what I mean? You can't let that go on.
What's it solving? Like,
it's nothing. It's literally solving nothing.
Getting on news. Like, I was scrolling through TikTok the other night, and it was like one of the nights they were up in Belfast, like throwing petrol bombs and all that shit. Like, and this guy was live streaming it on TikTok, like this kid, and I was like went on to his account and all, and I was like, what the fuck?
But it's this type of thing. Like, that time, whenever you were down in Ballymena, was like a few days after there was a protest in Ballymena, which then I don't know the ins, and I don't think anybody's going to know the ins and outs of it, because there's going to be so many people just lying and saying stuff talking for the sake of talking. But like, I seen a few people online who are up my direction. They were like, be careful going under forget what bridge it was, because people are lobbing stones and stuff off the bridge, and you're like, what is that solving?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, a family or something driving below that bridge and a stone coming through the window is not going to help your cause. It's just going to kill people. Like, and it's just one of them things, like, where I do think the majority of young people as well don't understand it.
Yeah, and they're the ones out doing the rattling. But I feel like their parents have like did you see the video? There was like great, yeah, all clapping, but great advertisement for North Face. They're all wearing North Face jackets,
and they're all standing at the side going like,
and they're all like, yeah, go on, and like all the older ones like standing side of the road, and the wee ones running up and down the road, and it was like, this woman thought this was her child's sports day or something like that.
Yeah,
but like,
Jimmy wins 100 meter.
They don't know why they're out there throwing their rocks. Like, their parents are cheering them on. They're just like, yeah, this must be okay then. If you go do it, like.
If you look at it logically, like what are you solving? So like, the whole Brexit thing, the border's pretty much it's I don't know if it already has went down, but like, it's obviously going to go down the Irish Sea, you know.
Yeah,
like, throwing a few petrol bombs isn't going to change that. On the whole like Michelle O'Neill thing, going to a funeral, it was what 8 or 9 months ago now.
Yeah,
the police didn't do anything, but like that's just it. Like, they should just let it go. Like what do you think's going to happen? They're going to throw her in jail for going to a funeral.
Are these 13 and 14 year olds really gonna?
But then as well as that, you have to throw it back on other people as well, where there will be people protesting and wanting to protest peacefully. But then these people have came along and went, no, we're going to turn. So like, anybody now who, like, I seen a few TikToks of people who were like, we're organising a peaceful protest in like Lauren or something, and then people were just like, oh, you're just organising this so it's an absolute violence session. But like, them people could, like, they could be, and it goes from both sides. People could be organising that to have a peaceful protest. Yeah. Like, they do exist, and they do, like, there has, like, do you know what I mean, it has like worked as a sense, do you know what I mean? But like, people are just coming along and being like, nah, here, that's not what we want to do, and it's just not, it's just causing more disruption.
But I don't know, like, you look at like the whole Black Lives Matter thing there ages ago, like, and they were peaceful protests, like, and they done it up in Belfast and all, and they all just went out and like protested, and like, that was good, and whereas like all this shit is like, it's just stupid. It's just, like, you're just making yourself bad. Like, I don't know if it's like, it just, I'm not saying it's all loyalists and all, but like they're just making themselves look bad, and like, you need the likes of Arlene Foster to come out and say like, what are you at, like.
But then she done the complete weird wrong fit, in my opinion. Like, she comes out and it's like, don't like, basically stop what you're doing, because you're actually like, stop what you're doing, like, stop being so divisive. But then through her statement was like, you know, you're taking the spotlight off the real lawbreakers. So someone who's going to read that is just going to be like, all right, so like it kind of gives it validation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's validated kind of what they're doing, but then also telling them to stop.
But just comparing people going out and like attacking the police and throwing petrol bombs and whatever to someone going to a funeral, which they broke the law and it shouldn't have happened, but at the same time, like it's fucking night and day there. Like they're nowhere near the same thing. Like Michelle O'Neill wasn't going throwing petrol bombs at the police or saying, like, you know, it's, how can you put that in the same sentence? Like, it was wrong, like, but Jesus Christ, when you actually think of it, like, she went to a funeral and it was stupid because she's one of the leaders of the country and she shouldn't have done it, but like, it's stupid how this has got into that. And then the same thing with the Brexit, like, and the border. The loyalists wanted Brexit, like, and they got Brexit. And if you think, like, where the fuck do you think the border was going to go, like?
Yeah.
Like, you've got England, Wales and Scotland on one island, and then you've got us on another island, then you've got the Good Friday Agreement, and you think, oh yeah, they're going to put a border in between Northern Ireland and Ireland. Like, you fucking tube, like. Like, they got what they wanted and now they're still not fucking happy, like, and they're going to just throw petrol bombs and it's going to fix it, like.
Yeah.
Should throw petrol bombs at the border and break it down.
Just jump on your fucking petrol bomb time machine and fix it, like what the fuck is it going to
I think, to be honest with you, it's like the main thing is we don't have all the facts. I don't think anybody does at this point. No one has the facts, but like the main thing that's happening at the moment is, regardless of who you are, where you come from, what you believe in, people are getting hurt, and that's not a way to solve things. Not now. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand it, to be honest with you, but I don't think anybody's gonna. But it's like, where does this stop? Like, when is this gonna stop? That is the question.
It's just stupid. When people with actual sense are leading the country, like that's just the truth. Like.
I seen this thing the other day, and it was a news article, and people were like, they were raging because the police brought the dogs with them.
Why?
Right, so police brought dogs out with them to like deter people from coming near them. Like, you let the dog off, like, you don't let the dog off the leash, but you have a dog and someone's like, I'm not going to go over there to him and get bit. But I think one of the dogs got injured, and pure Sharon online was like, this is where this has to stop whenever pets are getting injured. It's like, have you not seen the other 20 odd majorities? Like, but it's just mad, like. But
yeah, that's the thing too, like, if they had a motive and they were actually working towards something,
yeah,
like, you'd understand maybe if they're ratting because they want the police off the streets, or I don't even know, like. But they're just there doesn't seem to be an objective to what they're doing, like.
That's what
like,
I
they're
love
just
to
out throwing
asking them,
shit,
like, what are you trying to do here? Why are you doing this? And honestly just think, oh, I don't know.
Is there a better solution?
Like, what is the reason behind this?
People have a right. People have a right to be annoyed. People have a right to have a difference of opinion. Yeah. And people have a right to be like, express that difference of opinion, and that they do that through actually talking and like listening as well. So like, if I have a disagreement with you, like, I'm not going to come to your house and tear the whole place down. I'm going to come to you and be like, Thomas, you've annoyed me. This is how you've annoyed me. And then you go, okay, Ross, I've listened to you, and here's how we can. We may not come to an agreement,
and then he's kiss and make up.
Well, that's not going to happen. But like, we may not come to an agreement. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, what, I don't know.
It's just like, well, the whole thing is, I don't know. Like,
and then you have obviously this thing now, bringing him up again, Nolan.
What a guy.
Now, I believe there was something happened on his show the other day, which you were showing to us.
The reason we're bringing this up is basically this guy rang into the Nolan show. You know the way you have all these texts ringing in. No offense. And he was basically like saying, "Look, well, like not to name names, but like, you know, people." You know, there's people that are actually asked to ring in to cause controversy, and like, whether you believe it or not, like, it's a lot of it is like scripted, like
showbiz.
But that's just showbiz.
But like that's how like he brings in the money for the BBC, because like people are going on and listening to it and being like, right, what's going to happen today? And like, to be honest with you, again, people have the right to have a difference of opinion with him, and he has the right to have a difference of opinion with other people. And while I don't particularly agree with like all these like anonymous online people being like, oh, here's what you're doing, and this is like, that's just stupid, to be honest with you. It's one of them things where it's like, you're not bringing your point across, you just look like a wee troll.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, he's hit back and basically said that, you know, these people, you know, they hit out and they criticise on social media. He sort of said they're trolls who have nothing else better to do in their life. But like, it's obviously, there was a discussion and the start of all like the violence and stuff happening, and he had basically just like, I think someone had called in and effectively
Well, it basically
ripped.
happened. This guy rang in, and like, if you listen to our podcast with your girl Sarah from Politics Made Simple, she basically talked a lot about it. But there's just basically like this, people have this opinion that Nolan has an agenda against like, I can't know, what is
He's more in favour of,
loyalists. Like.
yeah, like
And basically this guy rang in and was saying that like he has an agenda against them, and like he talked about the funeral for ages, and like Sarah basically said something like, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't listen to the Nolan show every day, so like it could be wrong, like,
It was 9 months or something he kept
he's
going,
been
wasn't it?
she said that
Bobby.
like he'd been talking about the funeral for like 8 months, and then like things like the
that was someone had called in and basically said, disputed about how many times your boy Jim Allister was on for
Yeah.
interviews.
So
And then he had claimed, like, I've got the news article up here from Telegraph, basically said that Mr. Allister appeared in the show 2 or 3 times a week, and that the show pushed a hard right agenda. And then Nolan responded basically saying that it was outrageous, and then he was going to stop the call. He's a journalist in the country and he's trying his very best. And the statement he came out with was, "On my reputation as an impartial journalist, I will do everything I can to protect it, and I find your comment outrageous." Discuss.
it's just, but your boy made a point. Like, I know your boy Jim Allister is on it a lot,
Yeah.
and like he's a tube, like.
Mm.
But like, I don't know, like we're not big into politics, so like we're not trying to cause offence, but like Nolan, like even with the stuff around the students and all, like it's just,
That was the sort of time, like, you know, fine rightly, around the COVID time where he was standing outside the petrol station. I got really peeved off about it because I was just like, there were so many ways you could have done that, but you went about it and you antagonised and you provoked people.
yeah.
That's clear. On, like, he followed them and he provoked them, and like,
But even with the masks at the petrol station, like,
yeah. So
Yeah, what you're saying there about him provoking people is kind of rich coming from him now that he's deleted this bit out
Yeah.
of a show when he's been provoked.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they
Like
deleted, the whole big thing was like Shay saying they deleted the phone call out of the show, and Nolan was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take legal action against them" and all this here stuff.
mhm.
And to me, it's just like, you've got one person on who's actually disagreed with you and called you out in your shit. And like your buddy was like, hey, listen, your buddy was like saying about having Jim Allister on,
Mhm.
and he was like, you have him on at least twice a week. And Nolan was like, well, that's not true. And he says, well, I've contacted the BBC and asked them for the numbers and how many times he's been on the show, and you wouldn't give me that information. And he's like, so if they don't even know that information, how do you know that information?
But what was
so like
what,
he proper
what
like,
was kind of weird about it was, I think he was one of the very few people where I think has rung into that show, and regardless if you agreed with him or disagreed with him, he was very like calm. He wasn't ringing in and being
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
listen here, you Trump, like, do you know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
ringing in and he was like, listen, this is the what I see as facts.
And that's exactly what Nolan thrives off.
Yeah.
People just being
But
ignorant.
could that like, you word it back to what we were just talking about, could that have just turned into a discussion? Could that, like, why did it need to get so like heated and be like, no, like, I'm deleting
but it
this
didn't
off?
even get, like you're saying, your guy was calm, and he was just like, he just made a good point.
Yeah.
He was like saying, and he like stated like his opinion and like backed it up with like, you could say facts. So like, and he, to be fair, was like, I contacted them and asked for that information, and they said they didn't have it. So how do you know that it's not true? And then
Yeah.
like Nolan was like, oh well, you're saying this and that, and like whatever. And then he was like, oh, I'm going to take a legal he's like, no, your guy was like, alright, we'll take legal action. Then he's like, no, he's like, I will. And you were saying like Nolan's took legal action on a load of people before.
Well, you've heard of it being like this whole thing about defamation and all, and like that would be the equivalent of, so like, you're allowed to have your opinion and you're allowed to say what you think, but when you breach into that sort of area where you're just throwing accusations for the sake of accusations, like, and you're ruining someone's reputation. But like, I think the thing is, like, I don't know, he could just, he could go about stuff a different way, and I think he would actually have people would have more respect for him if he did. You know what I mean?
It looks bad on him because it's like when someone just disagrees with you and actually comes up with like valid points, you're just disregarding them because it makes you look bad.
And just because you disagree with what he's saying, he's a human being. Like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't go on social media and call him X, Y, and Z, and you know, like be mean it, like basically try and ruin him. And have him to a point where like he's, you know, but I think he's pretty thick-skinned, so I think Nolan. Like Nolan.
I know, but like you say that, like Nolan puts all the students under the same bracket, and he's like all the students in the Holy Lands. Yeah. And like the whole Paddy's Day thing, like he didn't talk about like the Rangers celebrations for long, but then straight on to St. Paddy's Day. And the students, and it wasn't even that bad. It was just like people in fucking Botanic Gardens. Like that could have been anyone. You can say like, oh, Nolan's still a person, but at the same time, the way he goes on about certain things, it's like, right, so just let him away with it because he's a bit of money and he's a fucking celebrity. Yeah. Like that's just stupid. Like he has to hold some sort of accountability. Yeah. Like the way he went on that video in the Holy Lands, the students, and then the fucking way he went up to people in the petrol station, and that's just like, alright, I'm Mr. Powerful BBC man, so I'll just sue you if you go against me. Yeah. He's a dick.
But what can you do? Either way, Northern Ireland's a bit of a weird place at the minute. We were doing so well with tourism. Do you know what I mean? We had Game of Thrones. Do you know what I mean? We had Game of Thrones, and everybody was coming. Like, do you see the amount of people? Like, I was at the Dark Cages that time. This was maybe a year, 2 years ago. I was at the Dark Cages. Literally, got up when I was really into my photography at the time. Got up really early. Like, I'm talking 4:30. Got up, went to the Dark Cages for like a sunrise. Literally was like, there's no way people will be on this road, because you normally go out and there's about 500,000 people on it. The next minute, up opens these bus doors. I look behind me, and about flipping 50 to 60 people got off this bus to go take photos, like all from different countries. Like we were doing really well, I think, and like people were saying, like even the likes we were talking about him earlier on, Nico, like he's from another country, and he was saying that like, I come over here, Northern Ireland's my home, it's the best place ever. And like it is a good place. Like I love out around the coast area. Like, do you know what I mean? It's class, and I think more people like it's like wee small things like Giant's Causeway. They're a bunch of rocks, but it's cool.
But do you think it's anything to do with lockdown? That like the main things in Northern Ireland is like but even like the likes of the Open and stuff, and like golf and all that stuff, and like all the things, the good things like tourism and all, have been affected the most because of lockdown, and then it's because of things like TV and the Nolan show that is still there.
Well, like if you're a tourist at the time at now, and you're like one of them wee vloggers or something, you're like, oh my gosh, gonna throw a dartboard at the map, and wherever it lands, we're just gonna pack up everything and go. And they throw it, and it lands in flipping Northern Ireland. So they Google Northern Ireland, like Google Northern Ireland right now. I guarantee you, they'd be like, you know what we might do? Rethrow that dart.
I'm just picturing someone throwing a dartboard.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's one of them things, but I don't know.
Just at the map,
fucking yeeting it at the wall
like a frisbee.
Yes, we're going to world.
The new Northern Ireland tourism, not terrorism.
Tourism or tourism?
It's one or the other here.
Northern Ireland tourism or tourism?
Take your pick.
But yeah,
where if I see as well as that, oh my word. Have you seen TikTok at the moment is just flat out with places to go in Northern Ireland?
Oh,
and it's like,
God.
If it's not Mollusk, if it's not the food place in Mollusk, it's like
all the made an Antrim food van. Have you seen the TikTok? And it's like this like it must like be like a Dan or something, and he's like at the made an Antrim van, and it's this big fucking line. He's just like, what the fuck are we doing here, lining up for a fucking toasty and all. But like, it's like anytime you look, I was actually going to make a TikTok, but I couldn't think of a funny thing to say. It's just like all in, like food places to visit in Northern Ireland. Toast Office Belfast, Juice Jar Belfast, famous food places. The food places that have been open not even a few months are like, oh fuck, so famous. Yeah.
Someone comes over and they're shut. No bother.
When was there like a famous food place in Northern Ireland? Is it actually famous? Because I haven't fucking heard of it. What do you mean? It's
Tesco. Ballymena.
Famous food places in Northern Ireland, some place I've never heard of in fucking Lisburn.
And then all these ones as well. I find that so funny. Like, don't get me wrong, you do you. Like, if you're one of these people, you do you. You're not causing anybody any harm. You do what you have to do. But at the same time, I don't really care that you're like, oh, so today me and the girls packed in the car and we're going up to Mollusk and we're going to buy so much Red Bull.
It's just, oh, fair enough. Like, the first person that done it, it's a good idea. Like,
it's creative.
But it's just like every dick now is just like copying it. Like, and it's just like, it's not even like this girl has her own like famous food place, like that's her wee series. It's like every dick is just stolen.
And they use
it's so annoying. Like.
And they use the, what do you call that? The wee chatbot thing on TikTok, so that it actually doesn't it hasn't got your voice.
Titles.
Yeah.
It's like OMFG. Famous food places to visit in Northern Ireland.
But it's
LOL.
Always, it's always like the juice jar made in Antrim, and it's like number 8, the juice jar, number 8, the fucking made in Antrim food van. Is that famous? Is it really?
The Toast Office, was a pretty cool name. I'll give it to them.
Yeah, the Toast Office was good, but like, is it worth it?
Been there like
is it
2
worth
weeks now.
It's gone
So
now.
famous. Is it?
Yeah.
Sure,
I never got one.
It was like a pop-up. But like, is it worth the line?
That tweet Shane Todd put out where he was like, while half the country's rioting and the other half is queuing up for a toasty.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that was
so
actually the funniest thing he's ever said.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well done, you peaked.
Famous. But like, that's the question. Is it worth the queuing up? Is it really? For the TikTok, is it worth it? Is it? What did you do on Sunday? Yeah, I lined up for 6 hours outside the main Antrim food van to get a toasty.
I could say it'd be nice, like, but you'd be disappointed when you got there.
Like, if I was like,
there's only so much you can get with a toasty.
We're gonna go to the toast office in Belfast here, and we got there, and the line. Have you seen the lines? Like, they're fucking massive lines. Would you be like, yeah, lad, we're gonna wait here?
Way.
I'd be like, oh, but I want to get this TikTok because I'm doing this famous food places series that about 600 odd people are doing.
I suppose people just feel validated whenever they see like thousands of likes come in.
I know, but be unique, like, you know what I mean?
But anyway, we're the run up to this, moving away from Northern Ireland, we're in the run up to this Jake Paul fight, Ben Askren.
This weekend.
Did you see him on the Logan Paul podcast?
Yeah.
He done very little to actually promote that fight.
So funny.
He was like, listen, if Jake's good, he's going to beat me. And Logan Paul was like, sell the fight, Ben.
And then he was like, but I don't really think he's that good.
Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, he's not that good. But if he is good, yeah. I'm screwed.
He's a cool guy, like.
Yeah.
He's a real cool guy. I do like him.
It's so funny because he's just like the absolute opposite of Jake Paul. Like, we were talking about it and what that 2 for Tuesday is, and it's like Jake Paul comes in with his whole entourage and like, yeah, Jake, let's go champ. And Ben Askren's like landing on the table like this, and he's just like,
the man wears flip-flops everywhere. I'm not surprised if he's gonna, but like I think he's just like glazed half the time, because we came into Logan Paul's house and they've got like this big massive chicken in the corner of and he just walked in and he looked around and he was like, wow, that's a big chicken. And they were like, yes, Ben, yes it is.
Well, did you see the video then, on Impulsive, that like watched the video of like Jake shit talking him?
Oh yeah.
And he slags off his hair and all, and like Logan Paul is like saying about his hair, and like, you're by, what do you call him? Oh, what do you call the other guy?
Mike.
Yeah, Mike's like, he's got pretty good curly hair though. Like, look at that curly hair, man.
The thing is though, when you watch that Impulsive podcast, one thing I will say is that regardless of what's going on, I really like your boy Mike, because he's like, he just is so blunt, and like I don't think you could, even if it's like, there's been so many times where he's blatantly just disagreed with whatever Logan Paul's saying, but he's really like,
he's unbiased. Like.
Yeah,
whereas
he is
Jake,
unbiased.
You can see Logan can't really go in on Jake and be honest, because like, he's his brother. Like.
Yeah.
Like, they were talking about the fighting and all, and they were like, Ben Askren was basically like, I don't think he's that good. And then they were talking about it and they were like Ben was like, Logan Paul, is he going to challenge for a world title? And Logan Paul was like, well, no. And then he was like, but there's a lot of kids showing up to spar thinking, oh, it's just this YouTuber boxer who's and they're leaving knocked down, bloodied and all, which is fair enough. Like, he's probably better than, like, he's not necessarily bad, but at the same time, the way I see it is, Ben Askren's fought in the UFC, in MMA, the highest level, and now he's not a boxer, like, but still, like, he's been
fighting capability.
Yeah, and like, to fight in the UFC, you're gonna have to have some skill, like and actually like hand to hand fighting. Like I know he's more of a wrestler, but like you can't just go into a UFC fight being like, oh, I'm just gonna hope not to get punched in the face and like get him on the ground.
That's one thing Ben Askren spoke about too. He was like, there's that warrior fighting mentality, like it's being able to take punches. Like it's alright, he's fought YouTube boxers, like, and but that guy, was it Nate? No,
Nate Robinson.
Oh, Nate Robinson.
That he knocked out.
Aye.
But like he didn't take any punches from him. Like he's like he's what do you call him? Fucking Ben Askren has like gained this mentality over years of experience where he understands what to do in a situation where if he receives something that he wasn't expecting, he knows how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Whereas Jake Paul's been fighting for 3 years. Like someone comes up and slaps him square in the nose. Like he's
the thing is though, you go like he boxed some guy. He boxed the YouTuber. Then he boxed another YouTuber, and then he boxed Nate Robinson. Right, so you got 3 people there who probably just been trained on boxing, whereas now like he's fighting an opponent which can go into a ring, and he's expecting like Ben Askren can go in a ring, and this is probably slightly easier for him because it's just hand to hand. Whereas Ben Askren could go in and go, I could get a knee in the face, a shin in my face, a foot in my face, an elbow, a head, or whatever. Like he's expecting so many variables, whereas now you've limited him to one avenue.
He'd have to have good reflexes and all,
Yeah.
and like he can take a hit. Like.
I just hope that he has actually trained.
Well,
Because
he's
I
obviously
haven't like no, but I hope he is actually like, because if he like realistically, like if he takes it very seriously, he will win. I think he will win. But if he doesn't,
he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's why I think.
But I think if he doesn't, it's like, you know, I genuinely do think your boy, like if he's serious about it, like fair enough to him, but he's just an arse.
It's just
Jake
like,
Paul's
he's a
favourite to
wingnut.
win.
yeah. But
So he is.
we had a lot of TikTok comments. Like we posted a few clips about. We were talking about this a few weeks ago. And a lot of people were saying they think Jake Paul's going to win because of his boxing, and they were saying like Ben Askren's more of a wrestler and all. And like I'm not a huge like UFC fan. Like I'd watch the odd fighter like boxing fan, but like I don't know. I just
Ben Askren's been in the ring with boxers before. Like. Obviously not like boxers, but UFC people like fighters trained in boxing.
Like
he knows how to take a
kickboxing,
punch,
like
and kickboxing.
proper, like, and they're like getting proper like you're saying, kicked in the face,
and lighter gloves as well.
Yeah.
But everybody's doing it now. Everybody is clinging to this boxing thing. To like, you look at the thing that I know we don't know a lot about this, and probably said we weren't going to talk about it. But this whole thing with Bryce Hall now, like he's going in and walking around as if he's flipping the world class boxer. He's like, yeah, fight me now, and it's like, who are you? Like, who honestly are like? Yeah, you're a TikToker, but like, I don't know. Like, it's when's it gonna come to?
I think because they've started this whole like YouTube and thing, and there's money in it, obviously.
I think with regards to the whole boxing breaching over into YouTube, it was a good, like the Logan Paul KSI thing was good. Do you know what I mean? It was a good way to bring people to boxing. But now I feel like it's getting to the stage where the boxing community's kind of sort of being like taking the piss out of.
Yeah.
Because you've got all these like, oh my word, that wee boy Bryce Hall. I don't understand him.
Is he going to be fighting?
Yeah, he's fighting some other. I think he's fighting a YouTuber, and then this other YouTuber I think came out and was like, yeah, I could probably. But like, people are just clinging on to this now for clout. You know what I mean? That would be the same as us being like, yeah, we could kick the head off Bryce Hall, and then him landing up to the door here and being like, fight me now.
Yeah.
Look, but then you've got like that. That's what I find so weird. The whole American idea versus like, I was saying this to you earlier on. Like, imagine if the Kardashians were like Northern Ireland. Like, how much stuff in that would be like, what are you wise? Like, you know what I mean?
I was looking at the thing the other day. That what would you call that? Where all the YouTube, there's the big massive like 6v6 sort of thing with all the YouTube boxing.
It's like YouTube v
like,
TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's what it is. And it's like there's Tanner Fox and all in it.
There's Tanner Fox in it.
Yeah, Tanner Fox in it. But there's some of them that haven't got opponents yet. And I said, look, I was like, fuck, you know.
Let's go.
No, but I was just thinking like, who'd be in my weight class? Like who would I be fighting if I was in that there? And like I was thinking like, would I beat them? Like? But I was looking at it like, and I'm a good 20 kg over all of them. Like I'm not like, they're all fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Like it's all like if anyone.
Well,
watches
then you
that,
have
like,
you have KSI's brother who's pretty pudgy. Like
70 kg.
No, he's not.
Yeah. I'm 90 now.
Ross feeling insecure.
But he's tiny. They're all under like 6'10" or 5'10". Sorry, they're like 5'7", 5'6".
But all them sort of like American
They're tiny,
YouTubers have like that physique, like skinny white boy, like
Yeah.
just like fucking.
Like some of them's fucking 40 and 50 kg.
No
like,
way.
That's like
I
fucking
have
a child.
shits on me.
That's some of them are literally half my weight.
My flipping, probably my right mid weighs about 60 kilo, like realistically.
But like back to Jake Paul, Ben Askren. It's this weekend.
Yeah,
Who do you fancy?
Gonna be what I honestly would realistically, how I see it going is, if Jake Paul wins, I'm not going to be surprised.
Seriously,
I'm not gonna, at this rate, I'm not going to be surprised, because I do feel like there's other variables in that. However, will I be sitting on that sofa over there, and if Ben Askren lays him out flat, will I be up and partying? Like, yeah, 100%. Like.
So who do you think's gonna win? We'll start. Who do you think's gonna win? Straight answer.
When you're looking at it logically, if I had to put money on it, Ben Askren. However, as I say, if Jake Paul laid him out, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think he's going to knock him out. I don't think he's going to knock him out. However, I don't know. I say
Ben Askren is inside Jake Paul's head.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Ben.
Yeah, confident, 100%.
I think so.
I think he will. I just think Ben Askren's going to be able to take a punch. The way I see it going, I imagine Jake's going to go in the ring and he's going to give him like giving him everything, and Ben Askren's going to be able to take it, and then he's going to panic and he's going to be like,
yeah.
I could see Jake really giving it to him for the first few rounds, and then just like being tired out after he realises this guy knows what he's at.
It is funny though when you say, I think he's what you said, he's in Jake Paul's head, but I think he's in Jake Paul's head because, like, you know the way you see like old McGregor and all would have come out and like really antagonize people.
Yeah.
Like when like that whole the only person that really didn't work on was Khabib, like, but like he came out and just ruined everyone, like just was so in their head. And like Jake Paul thrives off other people being like him walking out and being like, this is the fight game, bitch. Like he was probably wanting Ben Askren to be like, what you say, I'll come over there and kick your head in, and like Jake Paul would have been like, yeah, I'm in his head, whereas Ben Askren was literally just sitting there going like, you fool.
But the good thing I think about McGregor is like after the fight, if he's beat, like he just takes it like a man, and
he's
like,
humble. Like,
yeah, like even with Khabib on like the Mayweather thing as well, he's like, fair enough, a loss to the best.
And when he lost to what do you call the guy?
What wasn't Tony Gordon?
I forget his name. He fought him twice.
Right there.
Nate
Diaz. Like when they asked him, they're like, you know, how do you feel? He's like, look, we'll reassess and we'll go back at it again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like he's humble, like on the feet of it, but like he's just a good promoter. Like.
Jake Paul can't get away with it because he's American and his American accent now. I find Conor McGregor's accent is so aggressive. Like, you know, the Irish accent's
he's just let things get to his head. Like, I watched this video the other day and it was like Jake Paul then versus now, and it's like, hi, I'm Jake Paul from Aardvark and you're watching Disney Channel. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna do the logo. No looking. Oh, did I do it? First time. Boo. Yeah. And then he's like, what up, you bitch?
Yeah, but that's it. The American accent. It's
probably
so cringy,
fed up screwing your wife, so I follow her on Instagram.
I don't even think it's the accent. I think it's because.
But it's so cringy when an American tries to be like copies Conor McGregor.
But like, this is what I was saying. Imagine that in Northern Ireland. Like we were talking about this whole thing where Addison Rae's now getting involved in Ursula and the Kardashians, and like she's sitting at the table, and this is the conversation. The conversation that's actually going down is like, you know, oh my god, you took Courtney to get your nails done, and then Kendall Jenner's over like tapping your boy Scott, like as if, oh my god, what a scandal. Like, you imagine that was in Northern Ireland, like, oh, me and Katie went down there and got our nails done, and then the other one's like, oh, are you serious? You'd be like, wise up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, get a life.
But I think it's because he hasn't fought anyone legit yet. Because he's talking the talk and like bigging himself up, and everyone's just like, well, realistically, you fought a few YouTubers and an NBA player. Whereas I think now, if he does talk the talk and beat Ben Askren, it'll be a bit more like, right, fair enough. Huh?
Yeah.
I think you have to give him some credit then.
Yeah.
Whereas like now, like he was saying in a clip for that True Geordie podcast, he was like, before he fought Nate Robinson, everyone was like, oh, he's gonna get beat, like Jake's gonna get beat by Nate Robinson, he's an athlete, blah blah blah. And then he beat Nate Robinson, and then everyone's just like, oh well, he was only an NBA player, like. Yeah. Whereas like with Ben Askren, if he beats him, you have to give him some sort of credit. Yeah. Like. You have to be like.
But then the story's gonna be, oh, Ben Askren's washed up and he wasn't training and he was doing this. Hopefully it doesn't. Like remember the excuse Logan Paul gave after he lost to KSI. He was like, I don't know if you can hear by my voice, but on game day I woke up, I was sick, I woke up, I sneezed, achoo, 3 times that there, and everybody was like, what? Like, he's like, I don't know if you can hear by my voice, I'm sick, I woke up, achoo, sneezed 3 times. Like that there. And people were like, what? Like,
But
are you serious?
If Jake Paul loses, he's in shit straight now, because he's bigged it up so much, he's talked so much about how good he is, and if he gets beat, that's it. Like,
Listen,
who's he fight?
If he loses, I'm foreshadowing the future here. If he loses, he will make up some excuse as to why he lost. Probably the same as his brother. But
Yeah,
I woke
he'll
up,
wanna
achoo,
know.
sneezed 3 times.
Achoo.
As well as that, he'll go away and he'll be like, yeah, I'm going to take some time and work on my music game.
Yeah,
And then he's going to be the best singing since sliced bread when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my word.
In
Well,
fairness, he did put out a good few tracks there.
Did he?
Here,
Was
the
it
only
before the
one
box?
the only one, to be fair, that I've caught myself listening to was that one. I don't need no friends. I don't like fake friends.
Yeah, that
You know,
was
the one
actually
where he was
pretty
pure
good, like.
dancing on a digger.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, here, fair enough.
He should have just stuck to that instead of the fucking boxing.
We'll see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, tune in.
Can he win? Find out.
I wonder though who from Northern Ireland could go step up. Like if there's any big YouTubers in Northern Ireland who would proper be like, right,
Adam B, let's
Adam
go.
B. Could you see it? I don't know.
Cert.
Yeah.
You never know, hey?
Do you know who I think would love to do something like that?
Well,
And we've like finally would. Chris Sir.
Chris Suter.
I would say he'd be like, what? Boxing? Yeah, 100%. And then he'd be away
He'd have the-
training for like 17 months.
He'd have
and then
the confidence, and
yeah.
he'd be like, I back myself 100%.
Yeah.
Pure lid on his coffee. Just be like,
yes! Let's go!
what's it all he says? GGG.
GGG.
Get up, get out, get out of boys. Let's go training. Day 1. Right. I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
So
let us know in the
just
comment section who
before
you
we
think's going to
end,
win.
It's all Ben Askren all around. 3 for
Yeah,
3. Ben
3 for
Askren. If he doesn't win,
Slay us.
oh shit. Right.
Oh,
Thanks
damn.
for watching. Good luck. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.